Good morning. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. How are you doing this morning? Okay, really good in the front row, but I just texted you to turn the volume up a little bit, so disregard. Jeez. Good morning. I'm Evan Anderson with Gizmonics. I'll be your MC this morning. How's everybody doing? We tried that once. Let's try a little bit harder. Wow, is this thing on? Thank you, much better. And also welcome to those streaming this morning on YouTube. We always have a number of those folks too that for whatever reason couldn't make it here this morning. Anybody new? Anybody here that has never been to a 1 Million Cups before? Okay, I knew we had one at least. Welcome. Good to have you here. Hopefully you found your people. I think I overheard that you're a business owner, and it's a great place to kind of speak with some like-minded folks. So welcome. So what are we doing here? And this is maybe more for you than anybody else. So what is 1 Million Cups? Every single week, this is our 13th year now, we've gotten together Wednesday mornings, 8:30, Dakota Stage, and we put an entrepreneur on our stage, somebody that's doing something very interesting in our community, and we let them tell their story. We always like to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly too, so that we really see under the hood a little bit. And then we give them some feedback. We have a Q&A session. We get to interact. Afterwards, if you want to come and speak with our speakers a little bit, you're certainly welcome to do that. So that is what we're doing here, and the whole takeaway here is, can we change the face of our startup community over 1 million cups of coffee? So that's what we're doing here. So thanks for being a part of it. Welcome. Hopefully we'll be seeing you again. All right. So we always like to thank our sponsors. These folks help keep us afloat here. We've got very low budget. We're just a group of volunteers that put this together for the last 13 years, but we do pay the theater some rent and buy coffee and those kinds of things. So these are our sponsors. We've got 3 pages, I think, actually. So our Venti sponsors, and then we've got Dakota Bank is our newest sponsor. We just kind of introduced that last week. Our tall sponsors, and then what we call our in-kind sponsors. And these are companies that let their employees come and help us do what we do, spend time to be an organizer with our group. So, and that's just as important as any of the other. So thank you very much to everybody that supports this and feels that it's work worth doing. All right, as I mentioned, at the end, we are going to have Q&A. So Ross just showed up, and he's going to be running the... I see some relief. Yeah, all right. The mug runner is here, so he is going to run this mug around, and so if you've got a question at that point, throw your hand up, and Ross will get you that microphone so you can ask it. All right, I know we've got some community announcements this morning. First, we always like to start with a national day. It is National Zoo Lovers Day today. Any zoo lovers in here today? All right. Well, we have a little random act of swag today. I've got 4 train tickets for the Dakota Zoo. For the first person that comes up here, tells me why they like to go to the zoo, or maybe share a fun memory from Dakota Zoo here in Bismarck. 4 train tickets. These things are... Who's been on the train? All right. Yes. Yeah. Little applause. Come on. He got up.
Yeah. So, my kids, I've got 5, 4, and 14 months. If my wife knew that he was offering free train tickets and I didn't get up, I would have been in trouble. And my dad's here, so she would have found out. But yeah, I've been going to the zoo for years. My kids love it. And one of my favorite parts is as like a member, which I don't think we've got our membership this year yet, but you get discounts to other zoos around the country. So even just that, if you go to Omaha Zoo once with 5 kids, it pays for itself. So yeah, we love the zoo.
Awesome. There you go. Enjoy. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Okay, Mug Club.
So this is just a quick reminder of the Mug Club that we've got going on this year, right? This is the 2026 Mug Club. And I guess the main thing here is I watch everybody come in, right? John and Mark are giving you your little mug stickers. But they don't always count, and I've always stressed that you're going to hit a milestone and we're not going to get you your swag, all right? So if you're sitting there right now, take a peek. Remember, if you've got 5 black stickers, that means you've been to 1 Million Cups 5 times in 2026. We owe you one of those cool, they're kind of a larger format sticker. I haven't seen a lot of these driving around town, so, get your sticker. If you get 10, you get the 1MC notebook and pad so that you can take notes about all the fabulous ideas we share here at 1 Million Cups. And if you've got 15 black stickers, which I don't think is quite, it's close. Where's my person with perfect attendance? Where are you? Oh no, today's the first day. Oh, he was so close. He was like within 2. And he was telling me he really, really wanted that leather coaster. And I said, don't forget, the fridge magnet's really cool too. And then, regardless of color of sticker, if you've been coming for multiple years, if you've accumulated 20 total stickers, that means in 13 years you've been here 20 times. Well, no, we haven't been doing stickers the whole time, but anyway. Then we owe you a 1 Million Cups t-shirt, and they are soft and they are fab. And we have long sleeve and short sleeve and all kinds of sizes available. And at 25, you get that really cool cutting board. I don't know if you saw it when you came in. So anyway, the key point here is count your stickers because we want to give you stuff. Okay.
All right, thank you, Shania. Okay, you.
I mentioned this one last week, but if you weren't here, the Northern Plains Dance has partnered with the library to teach ballroom dancing. And I forgot, I brought my list last week. So if you want to know what specific dances on which dates they're teaching, go to our YouTube channel and check out last week's community announcements where I had a list. I know it included the salsa and the rumba, but I can't remember the other ones. But anyway, every Monday evening from the 13th through May 18th, they are teaching a different ballroom dance. And if you're like me and you maybe watch an old movie and watch how they just float on the floor and you're like, oh, I wish I could do that, you can go do that. Obviously, I haven't been to the class, so I'm not going to demonstrate anything.
Aw. Okay, Rise and Thrive Book Club. This is the second book now that you, Mary, is doing with this club. So they're starting this book on April 21st. They meet every other Tuesday at 8 to 9 a.m. just over here, 500 East Front. Kind of an opportunity to read a good book and discuss with others and kind of learn together. So The Anxious Generation is the next book that they're going to be doing. So check that out. Okay, Chamber EDC. Bismarck Mandan's 20 under 40. It is not too late to nominate. In fact, I think they take nominations into maybe June. So if you've got somebody that you'd like to nominate for one of the many awards at the 20 under 40 award, please scan that QR code and get that done. So often that's the hump to get over, is get people to get these nominations in. I think we all can think of people that are deserving of these awards. So take that little extra effort and get them nominated. Also, annual dinner is coming up. I think tickets are available through tomorrow. So we're not going to talk about this next week. This is it. If you want to go to the annual dinner and you don't have your ticket yet, as far as I know, I think we've got 800 or so already sold, maybe even more. So it's a huge, huge, wonderful event, kind of the annual premier event, black tie, for the Bismarck Mandan Chamber EDC. So if you want to go, get your ticket before tomorrow. Okay, Markel? Did Markel not come? Oh, Markel, if you're out there, Markel. Okay. So we got a QR code here anyway. So this is a workshop they're doing, executive bonus arrangements workshop. I guess I don't know a lot about it because Markel was going to come and talk about it, but they're going to explore the many issues facing closely held business owners trying to attract and retain key employees. Sounds actually very interesting. So what is the date on that? April 16th. Okay, so that is coming right up. Okay, anybody else with anything this morning? Okay, going once. All right, well, without further ado then, let's get David up here to tell us. We actually had David up here about a year ago, and he was just getting started with Birthday Beacon, and now we're going to find out where it's gone since then. Welcome.
Thank you.
from you. Go ahead and grab a seat if you'd like. All right, Ross. Well, maybe we could start just, could we learn a little bit more about Lighthouse and that organization behind all of this?
Yeah, and I kind of, so Lighthouse was, we're Lighthouse team members. That was kind of the launch pad of this. Birthday Beacons now has been for quite a while standalone 501c3. Lighthouse is still a big supporter, but our forward look goes way beyond just Lighthouse and whatnot. This is a Birthday Beacon story now, very much, not just a Lighthouse story and whatnot. But that's the company we work for that kind of this was born out of. But now we are Bismarck. We are a community 501c3. We are counting on Lighthouse got this started, but the community will take this to its ultimate destiny.
Okay, thank you. Tyler.
David, thanks for the great presentation, and so fun to hear you speak and get an update on this. I'm a little boggled by a party every day for almost a year. Can you speak into like the logistics of how do you keep that number at zero? How, when those kids are nominated, how do you make sure they get connected with the right, fill out the right form or whatever? Can you speak through the process of how these parties get organized?
I can't, but Jess can. You guys already know everything I know.
So we keep the process incredibly simple from this logistics standpoint. We try to keep the children as anonymous as possible. So the nominating partners take a huge piece of this process. So the simple online form, nominating partner goes out, fills out the form with the child's date of birth, the party destination. It gets sent to us through an email. We get the gift cards and the various details, send that over to the nominating partner, where they give that to the family to actually set up the party and pick up the cupcakes, and that's just a lot of efficiency to throw this many parties.
I'm guessing it happens frequently that you have more than one party in a day.
Yeah, certainly. It's had several in a day.
Shania.
Okay, kind of a segue into that discussion about process. It sounds like, David, if I ask this question and say, what is constraining you from growth? You would say probably awareness. But when you think about your process, what's the next constraint you're gonna bump up against?
Definitely awareness, and then just kids getting nominated. So just financial support awareness, and then finding nominating partners to find these learning children. I think the process is efficient enough to grow this beyond what we're doing today.
So at some point, finances or just human resources to make all that happen might get to be the next pain point.
Yeah, definitely the financial support is a big part of that initiative of awareness.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that somebody here would love to sponsor like one birthday party. What is the average cost for each birthday party for you?
Yeah, and certainly that's a great question. So on our website, we have the ability to actually, like a throw your birthday, you can select to sponsor one birthday party, and it's around $400 a party in average.
Wow. Maybe just kind of walk us through the growth in the last year. You know, where you were at a year ago and kind of how you got from there to here. And obviously, you know, you talk about awareness. You've obviously gotten a fair amount of that, but just how has that ramp been for you?
Yeah, so a year ago we were really just getting started. We built out the processes, figured out, here's how we're going to find deserving children. It's nominating partners, and here's our first nominating partner, and all. So it was really just launched off and whatnot. And the growth has been. It didn't take long to get to where you were throwing about 20 parties a month, give or take, and that's kind of where it's stabilized
Is your financial support primarily in kind from the people that are hosting parties, or is it kind of a combination of that and just donations? How does that work?
The majority of it is donations and a handful of large sponsors, folks like Cornerstone Bank and GVO and Lighthouse Commodities and stuff like that. Increasingly seeing more of like this wonderful question, individuals saying, yeah, it'd be cool if I just walked away from today knowing I threw a party for someone. So go into the, throw in a party. You can, we have all the framework, of course, for recurring monthly donations, donations of any amount and whatnot. But and we're new enough now. We're coming around to where able to start applying for grants and things of that nature, and then potentially charitable gaming once we hit our 2-year anniversary as a 501c3. So, but this early stage, as you would expect, just a handful of really convicted donors and whatnot.
Okay, perfect. Shania.
Okay, so I get to see your slides before anybody else does. And so with Birthday Beacon, I'll tell you what I expected to see was a bunch of pictures of birthday parties. And what I saw was a Labradoodle and a fish. and now that you've gone through it, I'm like, that's so flippin' awesome. It was a fantastic presentation. But I was wondering if you could, it was so cool. But I was like, what's with the fish? But if you wouldn't mind sharing, if you know of just a couple of stories, of course, protecting the privacy of the people, but I was wondering if you have any favorite birthday stories. I'd like to see a few teardrops in this audience, so do your best.
So, and one thing just in the world we live in, obviously, these nominated children are anonymous to us, anonymous online, anonymous in every, so the nominated partner touch. So we don't have like, here's photos from this party and things of that nature. We do get a lot of feedback from the nominating partners that say this is, and a lot of that is listed on the website if you go to birthdaybeacon.org. But it's usually in the vein of one that really stands out to me. A mom that had shared, thank you so much for this party. This is the first birthday party we've ever been able to throw for our kids. We had an outstanding time. And then another nominating partner had shared that she'd overheard a girl that had just had a party just talking with her friends in school the next week and talking about how that party was the best day of her life. Like she couldn't believe. So, and there's just a scat of that type of feedback and whatnot. So those are the types of things that we get to experience that makes it so that's so rewarding for us.
Yeah, it's a shame that, I totally get the anonymous nature and all of that, but there's got to be some really amazing, things happening at these parties and some lives changing, some memories made and all that kind of stuff. It's too bad in a way that you can't leverage that more. Yeah. Tyler.
I found it really interesting. Lighthouse Commodities kind of brainstormed this idea and then took action on it. And I'm curious if, through that process, I'm guessing you didn't think you'd be doing a birthday party a day, but what would have been some of the kind of cultural ripple effects at Lighthouse from this effort, and to see how this has kind of blown up and to see how this incredible organization you created?
And I'll let Des share too, but there's several just Lighthouse team members on the board of Birthday Beacon. Lighthouse team members actually administer the business, so all the financials, all the coordination, all of this and whatnot. And it's been just that we've had a pretty high conviction that being able to see so clearly how your work ties to something bigger than just whatnot, that it would have a good hell. And it's tough where you draw the line and stuff of what directly affects what, but at Lighthouse we continue to have a very strong culture. We're 10 years in and have still never had an employee resign from us. We've helped someone find something else to do along the way, but nobody's ever, and it's been part of just an overall effort to keep this culture strong, that people show up to work and they know why am I doing what I'm doing right now, and how does this fit, and okay, it's to make money, and then what is this money for, and what is it part of down
strong accountability from our folks on our team. Just it's brought a lot of joy to those on the board, and just it's a fun thing outside of the normal day to day, and it's just brings on to me joy to me personally.
So tell me a little bit about your board. How many people and kind of what walks?
Yeah, so we've got 6 Lighthouse team members, I believe, on the board, and then we've got GPO, two board members as well, and then Tom Seifert, who's with Epic Built, is also on the board. He's come alongside us as well.
Awesome. Sonia.
Okay, so another thing, with the 5K, okay, where do we go to register? Do you have to pre-register? You just show up to the parking lot? I mean, a 5K where I get a cupcake every half a mile, I am so in, right? That's so, I just love it. It's just like the antithesis of healthy. It's just so cool. I can just picture people running with, frosting all over their lips and stuff. It's just so awesome. Plus, I'm totally into balloon animals, and so, yes. So where can they go? How can they register? And kind of the logistics there.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a couple different places. Our Facebook page one is just a really good place to go. We've got several posts that have the link to go to run, sign up to sign up, and then also on our birthdaybeacon.org website, we've got our events page that would also have just the link as well.
Make sure you get us a slide too, and we can put that up next week during community announcements.
Sweet, that'd be really, yeah, we absolutely will. And then yeah, also you can't just show up and register. They have to, that's certainly welcome to, so absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and congratulations on the success. I think what you're doing is phenomenal. And I'm one of those who had never heard of you until today, and I think it's just amazing. So my question is, what is your next big goal? What is the next thing you really want to tackle or hit?
That's a great question. So the next short-term thing, and this is how we tend to think about this, is here's the broader goal and here's what needs to happen in the next 3 months, is we alluded to this, the Sanford Children's Hospital, the nominating partner, and that's going to be the exciting next thing. We'll be talking about this a lot on social media once we get past the event and stuff, but actually bringing birthday beacon parties to the hospital for children that are in hospital. And in this case, it may not be their birthday, just someone in the hospital wants to have a party. So we, again, the incredible Jess and the incredible team behind the scenes have worked out all the details of how you would show up at a hospital and provide a fun birthday party for a child that's in the hospital. So that is the next vertical, if you will, of Birthday Beacon, the next thing that we're going to do next. As soon as in the next 2 or 3 weeks, I think our first actual hospital parties will, and then we're going to have some actual promotion behind that and whatnot, and what the inspiration behind the hospital effort is actually quite convicting to you. You're not going to want to miss some of the stories that come out around that. So that's what's next for Birthday Beacon, is keep doing what we're doing currently, and then the hospital effort in the community.
Ross?
I have a question. So you talked about the getting these nominating partners to be able to identify these kids that are deserving of that. If like the John Q. Public knows of somebody who might be in that scenario, how would you be able to, or how would I be able to connect them, directly, indirectly to this process?
Yeah, so I mean, if you personally know somebody in a situation that could use a birthday, it's best to connect them with a nominating partner that we have listed on the website. They'll have the connections, have the resources to just nominate that child.
So you would just reach out to them directly and say, hey, I know of Birthday Beacon, and this is what I want.
Yeah, the school, like the public schools, the school counselors, the social workers, they're a really good resource if connect with them, or Dakota Advocacy Center, or Better Together, any of those nominating partners.
And just to pull on that thread further, so if someone reaches out to Birthday Beacon, hey, I'd like to nominate so-and-so for president, we will refer them to a nominating partner that would kind of, crude business community at large can nominate people, we just still route them back through a nominating partner to preserve anonymity, to just follow the process and to not risk, again, in the world we live in, not risk just blanket, saying maybe, and whatnot, just making sure it's really the deserving kids and whatnot.
So one more follow-up question. And for those kids, is there a rough criteria of qualification?
So, and one thing, one just broad strokes, one is we typically thought of as elementary age, kind of prime. Right now, you can probably remember a birthday party you had when you were 9 or 10 years old, like just where it's really high impact and whatnot. And the only broad strokes for us, the only thing we think about, the only thing I think about in my mind is just this is someone that likely wouldn't get to have a fun birthday party otherwise. So it could be they have a horrible at-home situation. It could be they have a great at-home situation, but the family's just in financial trouble. It could be, there's not a lot of guardrails other than just, hey, this is a wonderful kid that may not get to have a party otherwise. There's not any criteria really beyond that in our minds.
So you've obviously created and cultivated a lot of great relationships in the community. Are there any that you wish you had, or any organizations or individuals that you haven't been able to connect with that you would like to, that we all might be able to help with a little bit?
Yeah, and I think the answer to that is yes, and then the second part of that is we don't even know who they are and whatnot. So that's still, there's still just, I don't know that we would have 1% name recognition in Bismarck. There would be a kid today without a doubt who has a birthday who's not going to get a party and nobody in that kid's sphere even knows Birthday Beacon exists. And we're not social media influencers, we're not tech savvy, at least as it relates to this, we're not tech savvy. Our day jobs are pretty insular, like the way our business works, we're not out in the community, but not interacting in it. So just broad strokes. I mean, when we tie this into just a goal that can be distilled down to 1 or 2 words or whatnot, we really want the community to know we exist. Just to start with that, anything in that vein helps us mightily.
Okay. Well, I think we're about done. Ross, I may have just stolen some of your thunder there inadvertently with our last question that we always like to ask, but let's give it a roll.
I'm going to say it again anyway, because that's what I do here. So, but again, we appreciate what you guys do for these kids in our community. Like you said, if it wasn't for you, there'd be a lot of these kids that wouldn't be able to have that stellar day in that formative years of their life. So thank you for that. And then what can we as the 1 Million Cups community do to help you guys to continue to succeed?
Yeah, and just what you've done here today and what you let us do, just coming to present like this is a huge help. Because we talked about it, if here's somewhere you should post, here's something you should speak at, here's a connection I can make, all those things that just raise awareness. And then again, if you're saying I want to be involved more than that, there's room to be on the board to help in any way that you want as we try to grow
Well, let's get a round of applause for David and Jess here. Thank you guys so much for all that you do. All right, looking forward, next week we've got Small Business Administration in. That's going to be a lot of fun. Wendy's going to be here. And then we've got a fun collaboration. We got a photographer and a publisher coming in that are collaborating together on some projects on April 22nd. They're going to tell us about that. And then the North Dakota Trade Office will be here on April 29th. So be sure to join us. These are all the ways to connect with us. You probably know most of these. Facebook is a great way to keep up with our events. We stream this out on YouTube. Past presentations are available on YouTube if you want to revisit any of the content. That's all I got. Thank you, guys.